Hello, Kawans. Welcome back to Immortal Part 1, and today is a palindrome 2202 2022 or 22022 I'm just really excited because of the palindrome. Wendigo, Bosk, and Gunla get an inspiration point for all the shenanigans they did last week. And in session 20, the recap, Gunla delivers her own version of an apology and coming through with a promise by making a mountain of waffles for everyone. She's joined by Morgana and Bosk, who share amusement in the scene. They end up meeting up with Wendigo in the library, who had made an acquaintance prior to that in the gardens, but is now nose down, trying to make heads or tails of some information. Um, Later, after they get approval from unnamed persons, Etienne and Dr. Zara bring Dr. Bosk and Gunlag, who chooses to stay outside so as not to spook the sisters, to speak with the reunited Rima and Leke, who are thankful. After a supreme amount of effort, ironing out some confusion, they sort out my carriage puzzle. It's only been a few weeks. On the other hand, Valerius got sucked into a magical, unassuming golf ball sized object. The unnamed magical ball much earlier in the day, which is pretty much where we start today. Valerius, can you make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Saving throw. Okay.
What a wonderful start.
I know, right? +2. Oh, 16, not bad.
Okay. You barely make it. It's good. It's good. I had to, reasonably figure out what the DC should be given your stats.
For what? But anyway.
Okay, you pause. I want you to tell me a story of any time in your childhood where you're with both your parents.
Anytime when I was with both my parents
Mm-hmm.
Okay, before I start the story, what do you define as childhood? Like what age does childhood end?
Of any time between the age of 0 to 11.
0 to
Like
11.
if you want to say I remember a time where I was born, I'll be like, okay, sure.
With my parents I think like the most memorable memory with both my parents present would be when I had my tattoo like put into me when I was officially made one of the heirs for the company.
Okay. Tell me what uh what the situation was like. What kind of room were you in? How were you ushered in there, and where was mom and dad?
So it would be something akin to a conference room where there'll be like several like long tables and there'll be like a area at the front for like the people presenting and whatnot. So Valerius would probably have entered from a side room, a side door, like towards the front of the presentation area, escorted by two guards, while mother and father would be on one of the front tables towards the front, if not the very front of the presentation area. Valerius would have been ushered in, made to sit in the chair, and one of the rune smiths or whatnot from the company would have come over and started tattooing me.
Okay, how much pain were you in?
Considering Valerius was probably like 10 years old at the time, so probably a fair bit of pain.
Give me a constitution saving throw.
Ah, crap. Okay. 13.
13. You grit your teeth. It's fine. After you get tattooed, what was the welcome that you received from mom and dad?
Hmm. From dad, no. From mom, probably be like a business like nod where it's like, okay, she sees this and she's aware of it and she acknowledges it. That would probably like come rushing over as soon as everyone else has cleared out of the room and make sure I was okay.
Okay. So your awareness takes you as you get sucked into the ball. It doesn't take long for you to materialize, but you feel like you're ethereal, like you're not really there. You're standing on
Oh,
the ground. It's tiles, clean, clear. The smell takes you as you smell the sanitariness of the process that you're sort of going into, and you see a small child about less than half your size, and you recognize him as you. That child
I
is
see.
led by the hand by your mother. And then you're like, wait, this never happened. She didn't walk me through there. She
Yeah,
watched me go in there with somebody else. The child turns around and looks at you, and there's recognition. There's a smile. The child turns around again, faces through the door, and disappears. Time passes by as you watch the mother and father, your mother and father, anxiously wait for you outside the door. Your mother is pacing. Your father occasionally stands up, holds her hand, assures her that it's going to be all right. She sits down. He gets up. He goes and gets some tea. Two glasses in his hand. He gives one to his wife. She stands up again. She's anxious. Her foot taps. Your father tells her it's fine, that she should relax. Then your father thinks, hang on, is she thinking about work? Your mother assures you that it's not. There's crying coming from inside the door as you hear the sounds of machines, the very shrill hum of the tattoo machine. You remember the pain that you went through. Immediately, you see your mother stand up with in hand your father being dragged to the little window and peeks inside. She covers the window with her hands to make sure there's no glare from the lights. And she starts pacing again. You are 100% sure this never happened. You are very, very sure now. And you look around. Make me a perception check.
finally something I'm good at. Watch, I'm gonna bomb it and roll one. See,
Oh,
see. Anyway,
14? The one is at the right place, which is not
thankfully,
what you want.
I'm gonna.
14 is enough.
Hmm,
You can purge roll if you want.
yeah, I'm gonna push now.
14 is enough. As you look around, you see small beads just out of your reach. But if you squint, you think you might be able to see um, other memories, but you're not sure. You're not 100%. Eventually, what comes out, what happens is the child inside stops crying and is ushered out with a full sleeve, very much like your father's. And immediately he is cupped by your mother, given a kiss on the forehead, wiping the tears. She is kneeling on the ground so that she is face to face with her child. That's not you. Tell me your emotions seeing this.
I need to process this for a second. uh Probably forefront and foremost would be resentment and outrage.
As make me another wisdom saving throw. No, not
Okay.
wisdom. Give me an intelligence saving throw.
Oh boy. Oh god damn it!
9. You you don't even catch yourself. Your insistence that this never happened. How dare you? Who is messing around with my memory? you manage to change the direction of time for a while, and this reverses to the beginning, where this time the child is sad, being ushered towards the room with the mother and father standing. The father more worried than the child, and the mother just waiting for this procedure to be over because she has meetings upon meetings upon meetings throughout the day, and she has no time for this. She doesn't care, just get it done. The father stands up, asks her if she could be a little bit more welcoming for the pain of the child that is coming. He remembers the pain that he went through. She brushes him aside. You remember this because this is what you felt. You heard this as you go through the door, and the door shuts. The loud whirring of the machinery hits you again, and the pain comes back. And just like that, the pictures sort of fail. It feels like the boundary is breaking, shattering for a while. As it fades, you think, that's more like it. That's the memory I know. But before you feel like it is in any way resolved, before you could catch a hold of what it was, before you realize you could speed up, reverse time, before you could change emotions, your vision fades as you reappear on the table in the library in the midst of Crab walking away, but you're no longer at the nurse's office, and you're looking down at your friends amidst
Wait,
books.
am I standing on the table?
You are very much on the table. The dragonborn that was helping Wendigo and all just looks at you, not shocked, but about to tut you off the table.
I'm just gonna be like, as soon as I realize I'm on the table, I'm like, excuse me. Very calmly get off, pick up the Pokeball, put it in my pocket, and walk off. My mind, like thousands of emotions raging and thoughts like, what just happened? What is this thing that I've accidentally touched and linked to my soul or whatever nonsense? I'm gonna do more research later, but I have more pressing things to do. And
This
just
is
like
not
very
the first
awkwardly,
time. This is not the first time you got sucked into the ball.
that's fine.
Give me like a D10 roll,
D- okay, let's
just to
see
see
how
how
many
many.
times I get stuck into this thing. 10. Nope, 2.
Two, at least twice before.
Mm.
At least twice. And every time you've come out, you felt like there was something there, but you couldn't really remember. And this is the first time you felt yourself being allowed to remember. But the resolution is far from you, and you feel like you need a lot of work.
Mm.
If only to find out what this is.
Okay.
Okay. For the rest of you, you see, you see Valerius pop out and just walk away.
Wendigo will look for where he appeared and try to look from what he appeared.
Uh,
Mm.
make me a perception check to see if you actually saw the ball. It's a very low DC.
I will get you a picture of the ball so you know.
25 easy. You know he came out from that ball because Dr. Bosk had put it on the table prior to leaving with Gunlaug to a different part of the library again to do whatever it is they were doing. Gunlaug was very excited to be reading something about the end of fiat currency. You're not sure what fiat currency is, but there it is. And something about turtles. Um, she left the ball with the two of you because she felt like you could take care of it. And by taking care of it, you watched as there's a swirl of light and Valerius appearing. Short-lived, because he's gone now. Valerius, can you tell me what the ball looks like?
I sent you a picture in D&D Immortal chat.
Uh, why does it look
It's a
like a
tennis ball.
basketball? It's a very shiny tennis ball / basketball object.
That's wearing a face mask.
It is happy. It's a happy like Mickey Mouse face kind of thing. Very 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 shiny. But also extremely durable from what you've seen. No point of entry to speak of. So you're probably wondering how and why. Also, several hours has passed since Valerius went into the ball and came out. Maybe about 6 hours?
Wendigo picks up the ball and starts sniffing it over.
Okay, is this before or after Valerius took it?
He came out and took it, is it?
Yeah, he was like, this is awkward.
There was a short period of me like dusting myself down before I picked up the ball, so you can theoretically do it then while I'm dusting myself off.
Okay.
Yeah, he would do that when he's dusting himself off.
Okay, go for it.
Trying to see if like there's some kind of a smell coming out of it or somewhere, or like trying to figure out if Valerius was gregarious for a moment or something.
You take a big sniff. You recognize like a very slight ozone smell, but you think it's probably from the spark of magic than Valerius being a mist or clouds.
Once Valerius is done straightening out his clothes, he looks over at Wendy, who's peering into the metal ball.
Morgana, what are you doing with this in front of you? Like, your friend just rematerialized on the table. First of all, how rude. While you're trying to read.
Well, obviously she's taken aback, and she's like, "Wait, what?" Because somebody's on the table, and then watches him dust everything off, and all the while thinking, "How did he fit inside the ball? Must be uncomfortable. How could he? Doesn't he need to pee?"
Did you ask this out loud by chance?
No, in my head.
Oh, okay. If you ask this out loud,
I'm very polite. I'm very polite. I'm not gonna ask things that make somebody embarrassed.
Okay, let's see if Valerius catches this with a nice little insight check.
Okay. Let's see. Insight is very bad.
Very bad. Very bad.
From years and years of being in and out of this ball. Well, for as long as you have, for the more than 2 times you have been in and out of this ball, you know the reaction Morgana is exhibiting. How much have you told your party before this, aside from Gunlaug and Bosk?
Bosk and Gunlaug would have known everything about this, and I'm assuming Gunlaug, I'm gonna assume that Bosk would have been the first one to witness me teleport into the ball. And after seeing this happen, Valerius, being the overachiever that he is, will probably made a business card. It's like, yes, I just came out of the ball. Yes, it's true magic. Yes, I didn't need to pee. Anyway, have a nice day.
Morgana, you hear all the questions that you had in your head. You didn't realize was plastered all over your face. It's as if he was reading a book and he was replying to the questions in that book.
Did he actually pass me a card?
Hold on. I passed you something like this. D&D Immortal chat.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Something like this.
I know that card. Morgana picks a card, reads it, smiles sheepishly. Yeah, didn't know it was so obvious.
I'll turn over to Wendigo and offer him a card as well.
Okay, Morgana, can you make me an insight check on Valerius to gauge his
Mm.
discomfort. 22. Oh.
Oh.
Today's
Same roll.
22022022 with 22 and 22.
You like the day you?
Oh.
Let's go.
Morgana, you see, although that you were given this tiny business card with all the information about him being shunted into and then out of the tiny ball, you also see that he is very uncomfortable about something. Something happened in that tiny ball, and it has nothing to do with the fact that he has stayed up many nights trying to figure out the other trinket. You feel this might be a little bit more emotional, but it's really up to you whether you want to engage or you want to let him walk away. But you know his intention is to move away from this situation so he can recollect.
I choose to keep it for another day.
Okay.
Maybe like later in the night, not another day, but because clearly he's embarrassed.
Mind you, it is at night. You haven't all had dinner yet, but before you decide maybe to go out to dinner or forego dinner, I'm going to tell you what you found out about the Prime Matron Basul
Oh,
with your 23 on investigation check last week
yeah.
that I so rudely interrupted by giving you a cliffhanger. And I'm very proud of that.
Oh,
From the books that you gathered, from the hours of study, the hours of going through pages and pages of banal information that makes not little sense, but gives very scarce, very skint information that you need. You find out that, yes, your prime matron Basul of the Ice Root College of Magic is very powerful and has been a prime of the Ice Root College of Magic for the past 200 years, alongside the prime matron Kanega, who has been a prime for much longer than she. From your memory, you know that the prime matron Kanega is also an elf, but she's a dark-skinned woman, usually wearing green, turquoise, and yellow, and usually has a head wrap of some kind. Very quiet, walks around just nose up in the air, judging everyone. Like, she's also old. You have never seen an old elf until you saw her. Like, this elf has wrinkles.
damn.
As you remember the prime matron Kanega, you go back to Basul. You pull out a sheet from a newspaper that pretty much headlines the prime matron finances the study of underprivileged children. In one of the pictures, you see proud matron Basul standing next to a smiling young tabaxi holding a scroll in her hands, delighted that she has given an opportunity to study the prestigious magics of the school. You read through and it says, especially from the slums of Bror. You think, okay, yeah, you remember something about that. Like, the prime matron was a very kind and forgiving person. You didn't engage with her directly because you didn't have to. You were on scholarship and you were a very bright and very privileged student. Most people left you alone. Teachers didn't have reason to engage you negatively most of the time. Going through this and just reading up some more, trying to find some dirt on the prime matron. You find out that she has 3 children, but there's no mention of them, and you're unsure why. You dig through your memory banks and you remember that she's a very private person. Her her appearing as the prime matron has no bearings on her private life. She tends to stay far away from the limelight where she can, except a very proud daughter, a Tozra Bustle, who
Okay,
is a
fellas.
lieutenant, Tozre,
E-O-Z. Oh god. Z-R-E.
Bussul,
Okay.
Bhassul.
Mm-hmm.
And you read that she's a lieutenant general in the Apila grounds with one of the bigger contingencies. And aside from that, you find out that this lieutenant general is known as the general.
The general?
Yep, the general.
Oh. Okay. When you said tabaxi earlier, did I recognize the tabaxi at all?
Make me let me go through the thingy thing. Make me a history check.
Ugh. Oh.
22. You squint at the picture. It is grainy as all hell. It's black and white, so you can't really gauge the colors, but you deduce that it might be maybe dark. Maybe it's a brown coat. Maybe it's a black coat. Maybe dark blue even. But it doesn't come to you. You don't remember the face. You check on the date, and this was recent. Maybe the past 10 years.
I would have left school by then. Okay.
Yep. Anything else?
So that's all I read.
Yep, that's all you read. That's all you could find in a mountain of pretty much nonsense.
Okay. So there's no mention at all about the general except the fact that she's known as the general.
Yep. She's also there's no pictures of her either. It feels like the general is mentioned as a passing comment in some other article saying, "Oh, look how good Prime Matron is. She is helping the poor, and her daughter is also amazing."
Okay. Okay, then I guess that's it. Okay. I will try to find out more about this. Those. What to pronounce the name?
Osra.
Tozra.
Osra. Many toes. Okay, can you make me a like a like an arcana? No, not an arcana check. Like a straight intelligence check with proficiency.
Intelligent.
17 plus 3, I think. Right? So 20 total. Because proficiency.
What's the big number?
Oh wait, no, that is with proficiency. Lol. Yeah, it's fine. You think that I'll get back to you on this. I will get
Okay.
back to you on this with the 17.
Okay.
Okay, but you pretty much spent the entire evening, and it's now dinner time.
So I
Valerius,
found
where
all
did you
this,
go?
and then right after that,
Mhm.
Valerius popped out on the table.
Yes.
Okay.
Valerius, are you walking away? Have you walked away? Are you away?
Has Wendigo given me back the ball yet?
Hmm.
Actually, I
Mhm.
would have handed Wendigo a business card first. Does he take it?
Wendigo will take the card with the other hand, examine it,
Doesn't want to return back the ball.
and then sort of uses that card to investigate the ball, like using a corner to go along the little lines and try to see if there's an opening on it.
While this is happening, Valerius will look towards the Dragon Ball and raise a hand. Hi, I believe we have not been acquainted. My name is Valerius Riker. I say in hushed tones as I realize we're in a library.
She sticks her hand out, shakes her head. I was wondering. Not often we get people appearing out of nowhere on the table. Don't worry, you're not in trouble.
My apologies. Who might you be? Are you a librarian, perhaps?
And she nods. You can call
Hi.
me Kafrin.
What? Carf.
Kafrin. Kafrin.
Librarian friend.
She's
Carfrin
if I remember
the
correctly, she's a
dragon.
blue dragonborn, right? Right?
Carfrin the blue dragonborn librarian, because
I-
that
I-
rolls off the tongue. Okay.
She
Oh.
sees you having trouble with her name, and she's like, "You can call me Kaf."
No, it's okay.
It's a bit
I
like
would.
Catherine, but with an F.
Catherine. Is that right?
She nods.
Okay, cool.
It's
I
the
didn't want.
snout. It's really the snout. We have problems with saying th, and every time she
I
says
see.
th, it's like.
I see. Interesting. Is there like a spare chair I can pull up and sit down while I let
There are
Wendigo examine?
so many
Okay.
chairs.
I'll basically just
So
like
many.
I'll basically like blindly wave behind me in hopes I come into contact with a chair, grab it, and pull it down to sit down.
Okay. As you pull it, you realize there's no sound. And then when you
Okay.
look down before you sit down, you see like little soft padding under the chair, so that it doesn't make a noise.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Low tech, but effective.
Very nice.
Wendigo, what are you trying to do exactly?
He's running the cart along the lines of the tennis ball, baseball thing, trying to see if there's any sort of a place it goes in, like clicking. This is basically like the most low quality kind of thieves tools check ever. Finding a
Okay.
gap in it.
Valerius, you see Wendigo do this. I'm not gonna even ask you to make a roll unless you really want to, because there's no gaps. The grooves are pretend grooves. They're not even that deep.
I'll lean in a bit closer to Wendigo and whisper like honestly, I'm not too sure how this device functions just yet, but I'm fairly certain it's some form of. Hold on, dimensional door is what type of magic again? Huh?
Oh, I have to Google this. Hang on, let me check.
D-door. It is conjuration.
Yes.
Okay, I'll continue. It's like I'm not too sure how this works. There is no openings in this spear. I do believe it's based on conjuration magic, though.
Are you?
I'll pat myself down. Yeah, I think I am. I should be. Yeah, I am. I am me.
Prove it.
Valerius looks over. Like, how do you want me to prove it? Is this one of those stereotypical do something that Valerius only would do kind of things?
Wendigo stares.
Okay, Valerius very quickly like rummages through his tool belt, then pulls out like his slate, puts it down, puts a photo, like rewinds to like a photo of himself, then puts the audio playback device and just plays, "Hi, I'm Valerius,"
Tiny
and
Valerius
smiles.
is stuck in the slate.
I'll make sure the volume is not too loud though, since we're in a library.
Yeah. The Dragonborn is not really paying attention to you guys. She is very involved in trying to get more information to assist you.
Wendigo shakes his head. He goes, "Are you? What if they made a lot of you in there?" He holds up the ball again.
Oh, that's what you meant. Well, assuming the fact that I am a clone or a duplicate that has escaped out of this circle, I most probably would not be able to retain the memories of. And then he goes on like the past like couple of days of all the shit that we've been through, like from Etienne, like from capturing the guy with the briefcase, and then the first meeting with Etienne, and all the way up to now, and just recollecting all this. Like, if I was truly a clone, then my memories of the past couple of days would not have passed on because I came into contact with this sphere like months ago.
What happened in there?
I relieve my memories. Yes, I relive my memories. At least one of the more prominent ones, anyway.
Do you leave out anything?
That's all I'm saying. I'm basically just saying upfront that I was reliving my memories, and I'm not
Okay.
going into further details.
Okay.
Which
Okay.
is
Rolls up my left and right sleeve to expose my upper arms. Me getting my tattoos.
Immediately as you roll up your sleeves, the dragonborn girl whips herself near you and scrutinizes it. And she goes, "Do you mind if I just touch it?"
Would you like to have sure, go ahead. Valeris is
And
very taken aback.
with
But
the most, you didn't realize somebody could be this gentle, but they glide their hands over, just seeing if there are ridges on the tattoos. And she discovers that there is none. She's like, "This is really interesting. With my family, we actually have a process for tattoos, but this magical tattoos. Did you inherit this?"
maybe the word inherit might be a bit too strong, but I suppose you can say I did, yes.
Mm. I don't have the same one, but my sister does. Um, it's very specific. And then she sort of scrutinizes it. There's a lot of draconic in here.
Yes, our founders who started the company mostly practiced in draconic magic, though recently we've been using a bit more sylvan magic in our inventions.
She nods. Again, I understand only a little bit about that. But there are books on mixing magic, different kinds of magics. In here is just, there's so many ways to elevate a lot of different kinds of magics like that, and there's so many ways it can go wrong.
Yes, I'm very much aware. One of the cornerstones of our research is actually trying our best to make non-volatile mixing of magical runes, predominantly Sylvan and Draconic.
She nods. If you have time, maybe later we can actually talk about and share some of our studies.
Of
It's been a
course.
while since I've actually done this, but there's some research papers that I have read through, and all three actually, primordial, draconic, and sylvan at the same time, though with very dangerous effects. Highly classified for the most part, and extremely patented.
I don't suppose you're familiar with the name Riker's tactical and protective solutions. No.
Let me make a check. I do actually. I've read that in one of the reviews. Where I'm from. Funnily enough, are you from Roar?
You'd be correct. Yes, my father is the lead inventor at Rikers.
And for the first time, you see her light up, and like quite loudly chirp, like a caiman, like a happy chirp, a noise you did not find from Dragonborns before this.
I'm like, okay, this is new
And
development.
then immediately she silences herself because she remembers that she's in a library. And she's like, right, sorry. It's not often that you get people from the same sort of area. I haven't been back for a really long time because I pretty much live here now, and it's been years. Like, I don't even remember what's going on there. But
A lot has changed.
it's as I remember, because I was telling a friend, he was looking at a rock hollow, and I honestly can't remember if I even read about Rock Hollow until I, went through the books again and remembered. Oh yeah, it was part of the pedagogy in like grade school, which I never really listened to. And then she starts rambling off on growing up before circling back. In the meantime, Wendigo, you see her start gushing about the childhood and realizing that there's a magic person. It's such a 300, it's such a 180 change from how she regarded you in the get-go. Like there was no mention of her being from Kreira at all.
Well, Wendigo never did ask, but for Wendigo, there's a different thing, which is the first thing he does is, what is the design of the tattoo that he sees on Valerius?
Hilarious. Story time.
The design of the tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me grab a picture. I have this prepared. Chop. Mark of making. Okay, this is the design of the tattoo. It is rather large. It covers like most of the forearm. The upper arm. Sorry, not forearm.
Well, what Wendigo does upon seeing the tattoos is the first thing he does is take a step back, and his paw sort of reach around behind his own back for a moment, and then they quickly return back to the front and sides, rubbing together, and his eyes just remain on the tattoos. He doesn't say anything.
Interesting. I wouldn't have noticed. I'm still facing a. Oh God, what's her name? Her name is
Katrin.
Catherine.
Catherine.
It's
Catherine.
Catherine. But it's Katrin, but with an F, because, it's an opposite of a lisp.
Got it. I'm still facing Catherine, so I wouldn't have realized the scrutiny.
Okay. Eventually, Catherine, the Dragonborn, decides, I've taken up a lot of your time. What I'm going to do is actually try to find more information on this soul. And you're saying there's two now?
Yes. I'll look over at Wendigo and Morgana. Oh, is she helping us like track down like information regarding General Basul?
Wendigo's eyes finally leave the tattoos and go back to Valerius, and he nods.
Ah, we were tracking word of a General Basul, of which she is a military commander in the. Oh God, what's the name of the region again?
Apila
It,
grounds.
yeah, the Apila grounds. There is a second Basul? Question mark? Valerius' face is basically question mark right now.
Morgana, you see this confusion.
Um, then do. He's not talking to me though. He's talking to the girl.
Yeah.
No, I'm questioning the table at large. Like, looking at all of you like there's a second Basul.
Oh, okay.
Hmm?
Then Morgana proceeds to tell him and the group in general about what she found. With the whole, there's a daughter. She has 3 kids, but then the only one we know about is the Tozra.
Yes.
Yes. That's known as the general, and that's all we know for now. So technically, there are 3 other possible bustles around.
I
We
think
may need to
Lieutenant
look into that.
General Tors Basul. That might be. I'm fairly certain that's the one we're looking for, considering the fact that it's mentioned that she's a military leader, specifically in the Imperial grounds.
Tozra.
Tozra. Okay. Valerius, while you have this discussion, suddenly there's a ping in your head.
Huh?
Doo 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 doo. A light
I
sound
tap
of
my
a
head.
bell makes itself known in your mind's ear, and a crystal clear voice of Imogen starts speaking.
Oh.
Your Gaspodi's miraculous pocket, trademarked, is ready at any of the Gaspodi's physical shop. We will hold it for 7 days. No refunds on payments made.
Can I reply?
Yeah.
Understood. I may not make it back within 7 days. If not, is there a fee for holding it longer?
You get another immediate sending in your head. Same sound, same bell. Unfortunately, it'll be released for the public to buy if they so wish. So it's really a gamble.
I see. Thank you for the information, Imogen. Okay. I'm gonna go back down like right. So what have we learned about, well, besides what you've told me, besides Prime Matron Basul? I heard that she's a prominent figure in Ice Root, from what you described.
Me?
Yes, I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I mean, I know about her. She was there, and now I mean, she is still there, I believe. And she used to be there when I was there. So she's very powerful. She's a nice lady,
I see.
kind.
Interesting.
Like I don't know. I wouldn't have thought that her children would be capable of these things. But
Well,
I
I'll
mean,
make an
we
inquiry to
can.
my I'll make an
Mhm.
inquiry to my friend and see how it goes. On cue, Valeria's stomach growls. I look over at Wendigo. How long have I been in the spear?
6 hours.
That explains why I'm hungry. Well, Valerius like reaches for the sphere. Does Wendigo give it back?
Wendigo just peers at the tattoos one more time and grabs at his upper arm.
Oof.
Okay. Valerius is like, oh, yes. Can I help you?
Wendigo sniffs at the tattoos and tries to get a feel of them.
Valerius like kind of leans backwards while not really pulling back his arm. He's like, I'm flattered, man, but I have a fiance.
You do?
Valerius looks over. It's like, oh yeah, I do, and goes back to the very awkward like between Wendigo and Valerius. Like, um,
How old were you?
10.
He stuffs the ball back in Valeria's arms and then lets go and steps back.
Valerius steps back very awkwardly, like puts the crystal block, the golden ball, into one of his belt pouches, and like, I'm just gonna forget that happened. I'm going to get food. I will meet with you guys later. Then I'll address Catherine. It's like, if you want to talk about stuff later, I'll swing by the library maybe around 10 o'clock.
She nods.
Okay.
I'm actually going to be off at 10. But I'll meet you outside.
Sure, that sounds good. Valerius looks over to his two other group mates. It's like, where are Bosk and Gunlog?
Oh, the last I saw them, they were wandering at the philosophy and ideology section.
Ah, probably something about reforms, currency, and Marxists. I'll
She,
leave them to that.
she shrugs.
Well,
I can
guys.
I can give them a message saying that you would like to maybe meet up with them, or you'll see
Oh
them
no,
tomorrow or something.
it's fine. I can do that myself. And Valerius excuses himself, like with one last final look to Gunlog and Morgana, like asking, like, "Do you guys want to come with me to get food?"
Morgana proceeds to stand up, like, you know what? I'm hungry too.
As you
Wendigo?
guys begin to exit the library, a familiar face appears in front of you the third time today. It is
What?
Etienne.
Oof.
Bonsoir, mes amis.
Oh,
I
Jesus, man.
have
How
just
did you
come
do
up
that?
with. Sometimes when you work here long enough, you get certain privileges, and one of them is to appear suddenly to cause some fight towards your underlings, which is very entertaining.
I
It
hope we
never
haven't
gets
killed
old.
anyone by this.
He puts a hand on your shoulder, and he goes, "If you had died from me appearing, I have sad news for you. But that's not why I'm here. I actually have a thing to do for about a few weeks, which means I cannot take you in and out of this place, which means you have about a day to prepare all your findings, and I will transport you either to Bro or back to Eflon Minor, if you wish."
Okay, thank you for the information. We will relay this to the rest of our team. Where should we meet in about a day?
We can meet back at the information desk. You remember the madame?
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Where you got your map. Just wait there and I will meet you up tomorrow morning around 9 o'clock, say. Give you some time for breakfast.
Okay, that works. I'm gonna look over at Gunlog and sorry, not Gunlog, Morgana and Wendigo, make sure they understood as well. It's like, okay, let's go get food, guys. Excuse
Okay.
us.
Nudge, nudge.
Okay, he buggers off. Probably going to see the other two to say the same thing.
Mm.
Wendigo follows Morgana and Valerius, plodding along.
Okay, food.
Plodding along.
Okay, you find your way to the mess hall easy enough. And the place where Morgana had previously helped make the waffles is now spotless, clean. It's as if nothing happened there. The mess hall is also full of different kinds of people, um, eating, having fun. There's a cacophony of joyous sounds there. Left, right, and center, you hear stories being exchanged of daring deeds and stupid actions and broken or lost limbs, and you find a place to sit.
While we sit down, Valerius is gonna pull out the map for a second, and he's gonna look for Samuel King Philly, the not lost wizard.
Uh, you mentioned Samuel King Philly. You remember his face. You remember how silly he is, but nothing pops up.
Ah, the map's blank. That's unfortunate. Roll it back up.
Wendigo will be glancing around the mess hall for any of the familiar faces.
Make me a perception check.
While this is happening, Valerius will stand up and just like gesture towards the stalls, like, I'm thinking of getting fish today. What about you guys?
With a
You're
21,
looking.
you you don't see most of the people. You maybe you're not sure if they're the same person. See another orc. Kind of looks the same. But other than that, no. If you're hoping to see a particular person, that person is not here. But you hear the question from Valerius.
I'll help myself.
Okay. What about you, Morgana? What do you want for food?
I think I'll go for a salad today. And then
Okay.
Morgana stands up and walks towards the salad table.
There's a
But-
huge, beautiful, fresh selection of different vegetables and legumes. And different kinds of dressings, if you so wish. This place does not leave you wanting. Let's put it at that.
Morgana, wait. So we have to make my own salad?
So it's a buffet. I mean, do you say that out loud? Like, is this like a brain fart that came out of your mouth?
Like, no, so I walk up to the thing and I look around. I'm like, do I make my own salad or somebody's gonna help?
You see another person next to you, a different tabaxi, an orange one, with tongs in her hands, and she's doing the kyap, like testing. You know how you pick up tongs and you have to test it first?
Yeah.
Click, click.
Like kyap. And then she hears you say that, and she's like, it's a buffet.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay.
Although I don't
Um.
I don't think anybody has actually taken a salad with their hands before. Then she puts down the thong, and then you see her paws like just go towards a whole bunch of salads, and in slow
dear.
motion. So you like, do you do anything while she's reaching?
I don't think you're supposed to use your hands.
She pauses for a while. She's like, right, would be rude. And then she starts licking her hand. I have to make my hands clean first.
Oh God. You know what? Let me make you my favorite salad.
Oh. She happily, after cleaning her paws, she's like, my name's Nara.
My name's Morgana. Hold on, let me just show you. And proceeds to make a Niswa salad.
Ah, Niswa. Very
But
nice.
this is a cat, right?
She
Spexy's cat, right?
you see the cat and you question whether or not they're obligate carnivores, and then she goes, no, it's fine. We've evolved to also accept various vegetables and fruits in our diet. Although if we have too much carbs, we tend to get very fat.
Oh,
But it's fine. My brother likes cabbages.
Nod. Passes her a plate of salad.
Because
Bowl of salad.
she's holding the bowl in one paw, and then she has no cutlery. She takes out one claw, like shink, and then she stabs an apple and a salad, and then she eats it, and she's like, this is really nice. What did you call this?
A Niswa salad.
Niswa. I like it. Thank you, Morgana. And then she toddles off away.
Okay. Then Morgana turns back to the salad bar and makes a Caesar salad because that's what she prefers.
The betrayal.
I mean, Tabaxi, cat. Probably likes tuna. Yeah. That was the mine.
Ah, yes, you are correct. You see other people taking pieces of bread from the bread counter. There is, it feels like a hotel buffet spread at dinner. You see like a like a carvery at one corner, and there's a big old bowl And then there are other animals that you can't even pronounce because you've never seen it before and you didn't think it could be eaten. But there's a sign that says not for humans.
Wow.
Oof.
And then you see a human person pass by and angrily grumble about racism. And then the person behind the carvery is like, no, it's not racism. It's just because you have a weak stomach and we don't want you to die. But if you seriously want to, here's a waiver. Also,
Sign
we need
this.
to know who your handler is so we can tell them you died. You hear this way out back, and you realize that it's such an interesting situation to be in. All of you find yourself seated back at the table with food in front of you. The cacophony in the space just gets louder as time passes by.
Wendigo will get his own food, and what he actually does is he gets a surprisingly continental sort of. No, I would say he goes very specifically for specific things in specific quantities.
Bacon.
Wendigo, you
Like,
find that out to the corner after walking around to you circle the area, you find carts. You know the ones that you get from IKEA where there's like multi levels where you can put trays. You find that at the corner if you so wish to take it.
what Wendigo is actually trying to do is remake a breakfast from the family.
Oh, okay. Give me a history check to remember your breakfasts.
Not let me think. Yeah, he will try this. 14.
14. 14's good. You definitely remember what was given to you. You also remember bits of what was given to the young master. So it's up to you how you want to do this. The second check I need you to make is investigation with advantage because you've circled this place so many times.
Okay. He's going to remember. Well, his mind tries to remember going by item after item in the order and the quantity of it. As he remembers, they were very specific on the quantities of stuff they did give him.
Okay.
16.
16. It takes you about more than 20 minutes, between 20 and 40 minutes. You can't gauge time because you're so focused on trying to determine how much of everything you're supposed to put on the plate. But you find in front of you what you think is a perfect replica of the breakfast you had a long time ago.
And he will bring it back to where the other two are sitting, looking distracted as he stares at it. And he will put his two paws together and lower his head for a moment. Or rather, like the thing that people do when someone else is saying grace.
Oh, so you're not saying grace.
He's waiting to say, he's motioning the grace. He's pretending to hear it in his heart. Valerius and Morgana, you see Wendigo do this, and you've not seen him do this before.
Morgana's just watching like, wait, Wendigo saying grace? Whispers to Valerius.
Valerius will whisper back, I didn't realize he was a religious type. It's fine, it's not our place to judge. If he wants to pray, that's his prerogative. We shouldn't judge. Even though he judges us all the time, but it's fine.
Do we pray along?
I mean, who do you pray to? I pray to the machine spirit that my inventions don't break.
Huh.
You
I don't know.
saying
Then
saying
nudges him to just bow her head down as well.
As you bow your head down, Valerius, you remember you left your child.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm like, right, Float is gonna be pissed off when I come back. Imagine we go to Bro and he's still an Epsilon minor.
The
Anyway,
good thing is you can just remake him, so it's not a problem.
I'm gonna do that tonight. So Valerius like ducks his head down as well, and he starts like saying very quietly, "All hail the Omnissiah, I bring thee."
Wendigo, you hear the silent mutterings of Valerius to an Omni-Messiah? Omnissiah?
Omnissiah.
Omnissiah. The ever machine. But you don't
That was a
hear but you don't hear what you remember from your family. You don't hear the mutterings of the young master whining about how and why you should be saying grace when you don't need to. The food is there. And getting chided by his parents. Time passes by enough for you to recount the beats on how long it takes for your family to do their prayers. And you look
He
up.
looked. Mm-hmm.
Um, there's no change. Although opening your eyes again after keeping them closed. Were you closing your eyes?
Yes.
Okay. Opening your eyes again after keeping them closed. It just it's really bright. It's really bright, so you have to readjust really quickly. But your food is
No.
still there. Your friends are still there.
When they go, jaw shifts in. Well, I'm not sure if you would call it a smile because most people would not be comforted by it, but that's the motion it makes. And he starts systematically eating from one corner to the next.
Tell me what's on your plate. Like, what do you eat first? And is this a copy of the young master, or is it a habit that you've given yourself?
It's a habit he's given himself, sort of pieced together by some by mimicry, some by random facts heard from somewhere. Like for example, he sees the young master eating something before the other thing. He will do that if it's on his plate, but then he doesn't have the other things, so he improvises the order based on what he's heard or what seems to be the case.
Okay. Did the family subscribe to any religion? Did they follow a certain god?
Wendigo is quite sure they prayed to a god of some kind, but he's not sure what the significance is because it's not like there was a big statue of the god somewhere.
Okay.
And he's not sure how much of it was religious or how much was it to prevent bad stuff from happening, because in his tribe it was always more of a avoid bad stuff than invite good stuff.
Morgana and Valerius, you see such a difference in behavior, especially tonight. Praying, and who is this prim and proper person eating so daintily from a plate
I'm gonna
with
share a
such
look with
measured
Morgana.
items?
I nudge Valerius and gives him like a look, like look at him.
I know. This is fascinating. I wish I had my camera right now.
Morgana quietly asks Wendy, "Hey, how's your food?"
It's... He pauses, heavy searching. It's nice.
Does he say that with a smile?
He finishes the item he's on before he answers that, and looks like he's looking for words.
Does Morgana recognize what he's eating?
There would be a balanced diet, so to speak. There's like maybe a fruit thingy, a fruit salad thing here, a fish there, some meat here, some bread there. Like there's a balance of everything.
So it's like somebody went to a buffet and just took one of everything.
One of everything with a nutritionist standing next to them and pointing.
Okay. Morgana looks over at the plate. How's the fish salad? Wait, fish salad? Is that what you said?
It's a fruit salad and
Oh,
there's
fruit
fish
salad.
separately.
Okay. How's the fruit salad? Ignoring Morgana.
Compliments to the chef.
Okay. You know what? It looks good. I will go get some. Stands up and goes to the fruit salad bar.
Valerius has the most confused and baffled look on his face. It's like, fruits? Salad? Compliments to chef? He doesn't voice any of this out, by the way. He's just like very quiet. Like in his mind, like, what the fuck is happening today?
Wendigo, do you realize this is happening, or if you do, are you just ignoring it?
What is happening?
The questions, the mountain of questions, and the curiosity that has built up from you being so dainty with your food and so particular with your dinner observance for tonight.
Wendigo is not really noticing this. He's focusing on the food, or more rather, he's focusing on the routine of it.
Okay. Well, an uncomfortable beat passes by when Morgana comes back.
I will
The-
say, Valerius can do an insight check if he wants.
Okay, I'll do
Do
it.
it.
I'm curious as fuck. Insight.
Oh,
Nice.
Okay, let's try this. Okay, that's a 6. So,
Oh, damn.
okay. So Wendigo is eating in the fashion of someone following a certain routine, like trying to, like, it's not about the food so much as following the routine, getting the steps right. Imagine you're dancing and following steps. It's like, in this case, it's something else.
There's even more questions on Valerius's face right now, but he's not gonna ask them. He's like, I just got my ikan bakar. I'm gonna eat my ikan bakar.
Oh, there's definitely kambaka
Very good.
Oh.
with the sambal.
Fuck, now
Oh.
now I'm craving for ikan bakar. Fuck. God damn it. Made myself hungry.
You brought it
But-
upon yourself, man.
That's true.
Yeah.
With the curiousness of Wendigo sitting right smack dab in front of the two of you, you have an otherwise uneventful dinner. And unless there's anything you want to do for the day as it ends, I am going to stop it here so that we have the other two coming in, and we're going to go jump straight back in with traveling back to either Bror or Evlon Minor, your choice.
Yep.
I was hoping I'll have the time to personally interview the man who got his arm bit off. Because that hasn't happened yet, right? No?
No, it hasn't. You actually left before that. But you can
Alright.
definitely go to the cell. You know from Dr. Bosk that they did not have the man out, but you can definitely request for the man to come out.
Okay, I'll do that after food.
Okay. So after your dinner, as brisk as it may be in the confusion of what Wendigo is doing, you head out. Is anybody following?
I'll tell them like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to arm lost dude and try to get some information on the type of soldiers stationed at the place. If anyone wants to come with me.
Organa wants to get ready to go to Brawl or wherever.
What will you say to him?
Well, I'm going to inquire about the level of equipment used, the types of soldiers employed there, possibly number of formations, if any. And Valer just goes on about a lot of military stuff that may or may not make sense to Wendigo.
He hasn't been home for many years.
That's fine. I'm not really interested in what they have at the moment. I would like to know what they have previously to kind of gauge what we're going up against. It's better information than having no information, in my opinion.
Our character, did we ask Iral for anything to say to his family that would get them to trust us?
I don't recall anything.
Because I remember we did that for the girls, but like maybe this would be an excellent thing to ask Iral, because if his family has doubts or anything and dawdles that could cause everything.
Mm-hmm. I don't recall giving you any like key phrases,
Hmm.
so I'm
Okay,
gonna
we
say
can ask
no.
him.
But feel free to have it in your back pocket. Wendigo, you know that although you don't have to be in the room, there is space for you in the viewing chamber if you so wish. But that's entirely up to you whether you want to follow.
When they go, just say, get something to let his family know to follow.
I'll give her affirmative nod, turn around and go about my business.
Okay.
Wendigo does not follow.
Okay, looks like I'm on my own.
Okay. Valerius, you make your way very quickly to the holding cell and you request for a certain prisoner to be taken. It takes about an hour for the request to go through, and finally you see a man, I would say in chains, but there's really one arm.
I see. During
So
this time, where the prisoner is being transferred to this place, Valerius is gonna turn on his armor and take off his helmet, and just carry it like motorbike style, like like when motorbike people carry their helmets like that.
you see a few guards pass by you and comment on how awesome your armor looks.
Oh, thank you. I made it myself.
You discern that it's because it's nighttime and not many people do the big interviews at night, just the dodgy ones. So there's less people.
Oh no! Oh
They
no!
bring the one-armed Iral and sit him in the same room out of familiarity, and you go in.
Okay.
Iral is sitting on the chair. The chains are off him, but he still looks very unhappy for obvious reasons.
Valerius will walk up towards the table, pull a chair out, and sit down. During the same time, he sets his helmet on the table, and he'll start talking. Apologies for pulling you out this late. I just had some information I want to get from you, and I wanted to let you know that we should be beginning what's that called? Beginning the operation to save your family soon. At least we're moving forward to the next phase of the plan.
Make me a persuasion check.
Okay. Valerius has no persuasion. Yeah, he has no persuasion.
You see him look up at you, just briefly glancing at your helmet with so much ire, so much disdain, so much irritation. And there are no words.
Anyway, there was a few questions I wanted to ask that my friends have not managed to ask. I apologize for how late it is at the moment. I was indisposed and I've only just become available. But barring that aside, I wanted to know, like, I know you haven't been there for a long time, but I wanted to know what is the military situation at insert name where your family is being held.
Out of character. Sorry, the military installation you said?
Not the military installation, like the type of forces that's stationed at the specific area, what kind of armaments they use. Are they ranged combatants, melee combatants, how many roughly, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. He looks at you with mild, I wouldn't say confusion, but like he's trying to understand what you're saying. And then he goes, "Look, I thought I made this plan with your friend. No details until you get my family."
This is to rescue your family. Chances are we might have to evade your patrols and whatnot. Best way we can do that is by getting information. I understand if you're not willing to uh whatchamacallit. I understand you're not willing to partake. No, not partake. Let go? No, that doesn't work.
Divulge.
Divulge that information if you don't want to. But this is purely for rescuing your family. I'm not asking for military information of the entire army, just the unit that's being stationed and where your family's being held.
Make me an insight check, and then make me a persuasion check with advantage.
Advantage for persuasion. Okay, I double roll. 19.
Oh, 19, very good. With the insight check, you say this, and as you're saying it, you see a recognition. You see him understand what you're trying to do, but you also see his general um discomfort at the fact that he may not have the information to give you.
As I see this realization dawn on him, right, I'll keep talking like it's okay if you don't have any information that is up to date. Any information you can give us from when you were posted there or how long it has been since then is completely fine. We'll work our way from there.
He stands up and starts pacing, and slowly, bit by bit, you hear him mutter, "I haven't been home for so many years. The thing is, I don't know if they have an army, a station, one person. All I know is they threaten my family. And the reason why I haven't been back is so they don't do whatever it is they're threatening to."
Valerius nods understandingly. I
I,
understand that.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Valerius gestures for towards the chair and like tells him basically to sit down. I'm not trying to. I'm basically just trying to understand what kind of soldiers you people are. Where I'm from, and I gesture towards my own outfit. You can probably guess I'm from a military of sorts. We fight mostly with magical weapons, and frankly speaking, I have no idea how the Ursa Corpus fights. And I'm the kind of man who doesn't like to go into situations without a plan. And if worst comes to shove and combat does occur, I'd like to have the best information possible to make sure my team and your family gets out of there alive.
The pacing continues. He completely ignores your ask to sit down,
Hmm.
and he scoffs. You sound rich. We're soldiers of fortune. What makes you think we fight clean? We fight with everything and anything that we have. We fight dirty.
Valerius looks at you. Do I look like a knight in shining armor to you? No. You're sorely mistaken if you believe that my way of fighting is equivalent that to the boys in perhaps what's a knightly organization that I know of?
Well, there's the one in Ice Root. Your buddy Eltharion.
Eltharion, yeah. I don't fight with I don't fight with honor and courage in mind. I fight to survive, to win, to complete the objective I was tasked out to. Believe me, I do not believe we are too different.
And you know when I say that I fought with everything I had.
Valerius nods. I'm going to assume that your brethren were more or less the same.
He spits on the ground, and he's very insulted that you would call them his brethren. Or he looks
I'll
like he's insulted, and he goes,
I'll raise
brethren.
I'll raise my hands in defense, like perhaps that was the wrong words. Your co-workers.
I got a feeling that if you decided to quit this job, they won't hound your family, they won't threaten your life.
Valerius thinks for a moment, and he sincerely thinks whether the ages would do something like this. Is the answer yes? Is the answer no? He's not too sure, but he'll look back at this man raw, and he'll reply back, probably not. But I do wish to help your family.
Then get him. I
All
can't
right.
help you other than this. I'll give you every information I have on those bastards after you get them.
Valerius sighs and he nods. All right then. But please, I need you to answer me at least one question. When we meet your family, what do you want us to say to make them trust us so that they will follow us and we can get them safely out?
Hearing that, he actually stops pacing and he sort of languishes where he stands. It takes a while for him to come up with anything meaningful, you think. As soon as he thinks up of something, he opens his mouth to say words, but it looks like he takes it back. And then he shakes his head. He looks at you. I haven't seen my aunt and my uncle in years. They probably think I'm dead. I haven't seen the two kids. They probably don't know who I am anymore. And then he looks casually at his missing arm. I could say anything right now, but honestly, I don't know if they believe that I'm alive. I think as long as you say you're taking them out, that place is a shithole. They'll believe you.
Valerius nods. Well, if you want, I'm able to record a 20-word message if you want to say anything to them.
He
Put them at
shakes his
ease a
head.
bit.
If I had the choice, they don't have to see me. I just want to make sure they're alive. And then I'll probably follow you into whatever shithole you're going into. Because I'm going to take them down. Try
Valerius
to.
chuckles. Valerius chuckles and smiles. You know, Errol, I believe this would be the beginning of a nice friendship.
Don't
As I
push
pick
your
up my
luck.
helmet and turn around as I'm heading towards the door. Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Valerius. I look forward to working with you, I say, and I step out the door.
He doesn't reply to you, but he is now waiting to be taken back to his cell. He doesn't sit down, he just stands at the door.
Once I get out, I'll put my helmet back on and give a nod to the guard, indicating that I'm done.
The guard nods at you, says thank you, and then goes in with another person to wrap it up, take the guy back to his cell.
All right. How long has it been? I have a meeting to meet up with Catherine.
I would say you still have about an hour and a half to kill.
I'll kill it in the library then.
Okay. You managed to go in and read a bit, just as Catherine is sort of clocking out. You see her put away some books, and then she sees you, and she gives you a hand motion that says, "Give me 5 minutes."
Sure.
5 minutes
As she
after, uh-huh.
as she does this, I look down at myself and I realize, right. Presses a button on my chest plate, the armor goes back away, revealing back the normal attire I have.
Make me a perception check,
Sure.
just casually.
My not good. 1.
You attempt to look around as you do this nonchalantly, but unfortunately your mind is too stuck on your aesthetic that you fail to consider the other people who are differently dressed around you.
Hmm.
Eventually she comes up and she goes, "Right, let's go."
All right, I'll grab my stuff and follow her. Where is she leading us?
She seems to just be taking you to like an empty desk outside of the confines of the library, outside of the books anyway. It seems to
Oh.
be like a study area with no um, objects that you can just carry and walk away with.
If that's the case, right, I'll propose to her like, why don't we go to the workshop I rented? You can have a look at some of the inventions I have on the table as well.
That is actually a better idea.
All right, we'll make our way there.
You get there really quickly. She nods in approval, like, yes, I've worked in these rooms every so often, but it's been a really long time. And what are you working on exactly?
Yes. I'm actually reverse engineering one of the devices made by my company. Unfortunately, I wasn't privy to the design specs when they make it, and I'm trying to recreate it. And I'll gesture towards the little crystal necklace thingy that I'm like trying to unlock.
It's more like a belt trinket. It was hanging
Yes.
off the belt, and it's about the size of a squash ball. But
Squash ball. Okay.
yeah, squash size. But it's
I'm
very
sorry.
intricate. It's porous, and you can see inside the gem, which is cracked because it's been used. She
So,
you see her sort of steeple her fingers and twiddle them like, oh, interesting. She goes, right, it looks like it's going to break anytime. So I'm not gonna touch it. But is there a way I could sort of have a look at it?
of course. And Valerius will like using the rollers on the table. He pulls down the magnifying the times 10 times 20 magnascopic magnifying lens bullshit thingy, and just like place it in front of the thing and starts like putting all the different measurements on so you can get like the absolute largest picture.
She nods. She looks. It takes her a while. I'm going to say that this would give you advantage because you had advantage from your natural 20 last time
Yeah.
for your next roll, but her helping you now is going to give you advantage for the roll after that. So you have advantage for 2 rolls.
Yes. Okay.
But it's still going to take you 3 hours per roll.
That's fine. If she's willing to sit here for 3 hours, I'm gonna make a roll right now.
You gotta ask her, man. She's
Oh,
looking very intently.
As she is actually like inspecting this right now, Valerius will pipe up like, I'm actually planning to unhook this further right now. So if you want to stand and watch and help me take notes, that'd be great.
She looks at you and she goes, if you can Give me about half an hour because I haven't actually had any dinner.
I see. I am so sorry. Of course, I'll wait 1 hour. Valerius pulls out a table. Take your time. I'll be right here.
And she doesn't go anywhere. She just pulls out a giant ass sandwich from her bag.
I'm like, huh. Okay, yeah. Take your time. Would you like some water? I can get us some water.
No, it's alright. And then she just munch, munch, munch. But all the while she is sort of looking over your shoulder.
Does she like pull out a second sandwich after she's done with the first? Because
Uh,
she said 30 minutes.
no. It's a big sandwich. It's like a foot and a half long and it's thick. It's a thick
Oh,
boy.
oh, so it's a Subway like sandwich. Okay, I thought you were
Yeah.
referring to like those a stereotypical like white piece of bread sandwich thing.
Oh no. It is if you scrutinize. Okay, do you scrutinize the sandwich?
I'm just gonna like, no, she's having a sandwich. I'll just briefly glance and just take note of the dimensions and perhaps the filling.
Okay. You see that there is bits of lettuce sticking out with onions, the beautiful red onions, but you see that it has been pickled. And under the onions you see slices of cheese, probably Monterey Jack, and then below that you see salami and bologna and just stacks and stacks of sliced deli meats. It is a
Interesting.
thick boy.
Okay, sure. Valerius will pull out his slate and just like go through his previous notes of the last time he did this thing while waiting for his new friend to finish eating.
She eats kind of slow.
Oh, that's fine.
But as you sort of make your note, she's still looking over your shoulder, pointing to various scribbles that you make to say, no, that seems like this doesn't make sense. It's not apple salad waffle. It is if you want. Like that is the phrase. Don't just put
Ah.
random ass words in. No, what are you doing? Like
At some point, Valerius will probably like, okay, let me shift my chair a bit so she doesn't have to constantly look over my shoulder, and I'll like put the slate down at like an angle so where she's sitting, she can also view it without looking over my shoulder and continue taking notes.
she scrutinizes through it, and then she realizes she's being rude, and she's like, "I'm so sorry. It's really irritating to see somebody try to decipher something and then just do it wrong. No offense." And then
No, it's fine. It's fine.
she
Language is not my
munch.
forte. I just built stuff. My the people that do language in my place were they weren't really too thorough with their teachings of the linguistic arts to me, so I get things wrong every now and then.
It's it's fine. Here, you have Draconic on your arm. I'm
Yes,
guessing
I
you
do.
know Draconic as a base language.
Valerius will respond in Draconic, like yes or something to the effect of that.
She switches to Draconic immediately, and then she goes,
Oh no.
"Right. So what you're saying is you understand Draconic, which is great, but what else do you understand? Like." And she's saying all of
I
this in Draconic.
I understand Common and Elvish. Unfortunately, that's it. I can't read or write or understand Sylvan.
It's funny because if you look over here and she sort of wipes one greasy finger on her shirt and
I
then
offer
she
her a
points.
tissue,
She takes
but
the
yes.
tissue and then she points towards like a very zoomed in image and she's like, that is Sylvan, which is very interesting because you see how they tie the Draconic to the Sylvan. This is very volatile, so I'm actually surprised it worked, and it makes sense why the glass, the gem inside is cracked.
Valerius squints very hard and like, I did not realize that was Sylvan. Thank you for pointing that out. Writes notes furiously. Like,
This
okay.
this must be really secret if you didn't know they were trying to mess around with. What do they usually use? Like, I know Draconic is in your base.
I have to ask, does she lose the accent when she switches to Draconic?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Valerius looks over at her, is like, frankly speaking, I'm not too sure. I know the military branch of my organization, my company uses Draconic as a baseline, yes, but I'm not sure about everything else. We also we dabble mostly in protective security and military based magic, but we've also been taking measures into restoration based magic, healing magic, that sort of thing. I'm not sure what base languages those use. My fiance would be more knowledgeable of that, but I was unfortunately unfortunately, much to my parents' dismay, were more interested in the physical side of things, and he taps on his armor for whatchamacallit, for reference.
She nods, puts the last bit of sandwich in her mouth, uses the tissue that you give to wipe her hands, and then throws that in her bag. And
There's a dustbin over there.
no, it's alright. She switches
Okay.
back. Here. And then both of you just hunker down and get to work for the rest of the 3 hours. Make
Okay,
me
I'm
a
the
something
roll that I
something
usually
roll.
do.
Yes, which I have to open the thingy now. Hang on, give me a second.
Advantage. So we have 3 bars of progress so far. Today we'll
Yes.
be marking the 4th if it succeeds.
Yes. It's a history check. You can use whatever that magic artificer thing to bolster it.
Hey, wasn't it a jeweler's tool check?
Uh,
Is this a check to like understand the language, or is it to actually tinker with the device?
hang on. Yeah, sorry. It's the
Okay,
same
cool.
same DC. Yes, jewelers with whatever it is.
Okay, I'm gonna roll now. So it'll
It's your
be
tinker check.
okay.
29.
I'm gonna roll an additional 1d4 for added effect. Okay, 32.
Definitely with the help of uh her being there. You are so illuminated by a lot of the things that she's talking about. And you also understand why she is working here as a librarian and under Aegis.
I will make an often comment about that. It's like, this explains the reason. This explains a lot why you're employed by the Aegis. You have a wealth of information and knowledge that many at my company would kill to have.
She smiles and nods, and then give me a trinket on you that is ubiquitous in your daily use, but is not made by Rikers.
I need to Google what does ubiquitous mean.
It's a permanent fixture. It's like having a watch.
Oh, okay.
It's
Not
like
me,
something that's so common and part of daily life that you don't even think about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh, that's easy.
Like a
not
cell
made,
phone.
but not made by Rikers,
Yeah.
right? Then the little badge thing that I have on my chest, then.
She points to that badge, and she taps at it. And then she
Okay.
goes, in common, "Do you know who made this?"
Yeah, that would be me.
The schematics are mine.
Valerius snaps his head over like, what?
This was patented by myself about 25 years ago. Think I was a wee newt at the time. Like
I
9?
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that was the case. And Valerius like very quickly like unhooks it from his bandolier. It's like, you made the pattern for this.
She nods. And then she puts a hand out. May I?
Of course, I'll put it down.
With a deft hand, she takes it. What does it do? Like, what is the base thing that it does?
It is the the core of my armor. I tap it, my armor appears. It is also the focus for my spells.
She takes it. This is more of an aesthetic thing, and it feels. I feel like nobody really utilizes it, but if you press this, and then she takes a very small pin, and she pokes one of the little holes on the side,
Mhm.
and then she giggles because as she does that, RGB intensifies.
The fuck? I'm like, what? What did you do?
I just turned on the lights. It's usually for fun. When you're about 9 years old and you make this, everything has to be bling, I
I
do
see, I
apologize. And
see.
then she
Cool.
does the same thing and she turns it off.
What was it like? Was it like every color of the rainbow is like
The
flashing?
rainbow! So rainbow!
Valerius actually like holds on to that. He's like, I might actually just keep that on for now anyway, and he clicks it back on and puts it on back on this bandolier.
She smiles. Not that it's a flex. I haven't really invented a lot of things. I've just been reading articles upon articles for the longest time. When you have a wealth of knowledge here, kind of hard to want to sit down and invent anything. I feel like I want to read everything.
I mean, I get that, yeah.
But I
You
have
know,
some ideas.
if you weren't employed by the Aegis right now, I wouldn't be I would be probably recruiting you to Rikers right now. Actually, it's like
She laughs. Well, it was a pleasure getting to know you and helping you. I hope that you figure this thing out and then
of
let me know what
course
it is.
I will.
I actually have to go.
That's fine. That's fine. I appreciate the time that you've taken here today to help me with this. I was honestly stumped for a short period of time. Oh yes. Does the Aegis have any way of receiving letters by chance?
She shakes her head. All the times I've been here, think of this place as a fortress of sorts. If you're not Aegis, you're not technically allowed to come here. Your mail doesn't as well. Because, security reasons.
That's fine. Well, that's okay. If you don't mind, well, if you want to anyway, I'll find a way to send a sending to you. Then we can keep our correspondence if you want to.
She nods.
All right. Again, thank you for your help. I really appreciate it. And
No worries.
I do hope that my bumbling idiocy has given you at least a bit food for thought
And then
for
she
the kind of
switches back to Draconic and she's like, you're not as stupid as you make yourself out to be, so don't be an idiot. Treat yourself better, man.
hilarious laughs. Like, ha 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 ha. The very awkward ha 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 ha. Anyway,
And then she leaves.
well, it's about time for me to. Okay. All right. I'll pack up since we're leaving tomorrow. I'm not leaving this here. Very carefully stucks it into like a cushion lined metal box for transportation, and then off we go.
Does any one of the two of you want to do anything else? Morgana and Wendy.
Not for me.
I'm good for now. If there's anything solo, I can do it separately next time. Bye.
Okay. And with that, this is a good place to stop. We will jump cut to the morning with hopefully a full party next week. I say that every week. I really hope we have a full party next week.
Yep.
And this will usher a new phase in the team because they've been stuck in the same building for what feels like many days. So enjoy your week, and I will see you next Tuesday.
Yay!
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.